want to thank you all for joining. My name's Joe Breeden. I've uh, I've been fortunate to be president of MRMIA since 2020, and I'll kick off things today. But I want to start by thanking everyone who's been involved in putting this together, both the speakers, the board at MRMIA, and our conference coordinator, Tyler Luster. So it's uh, it's great to be able to have these events. It's great to have sponsors, Cadmus Financial Services, and my own company, Deep Future Analytics, as this year's sponsors, so that it can be free for everyone. MRMIA is a nonprofit. We just try to pay for the this event and the publications and the website and the things, the basic things. So it's runs on a very tight budget, but really appreciate the sponsors here. As I mentioned, we were founded in 2019, and it's worth pointing out this is our sixth virtual summit. And I think we're settling into a good format and time slot in the year. We have other events, and in fact, we've been asked to host other events this year, so there'll be a lot more happening. But this is our annual event to talk about what's new and exciting in model risk management. And that's an odd phrase. When we started with model risk management, it didn't seem that exciting would ever be attached to it. But with all that's been happening, there is actually a lot to talk about. Our leadership team, I mentioned myself. I'm joined by Peter Kvell, head of portfolio risk at DZ Bank, Alan Forrest, business associate at the University of Edinburgh Business School, Tom Dolan, director of model risk management at Centennial Bank, Raymond Anderson, principal at Rayan Risk Analytics, and Shannon Kelly joined us this year, risk management executive, quantitative risk partners. And of course, if you look any of my associates here up on LinkedIn, you'll see that they have quite impressive resumes. I'm fortunate to get to work with this group. MRMIA has had a busy year since our last event. If you check our new website, first of all, it's very, very nicely done. There are quite a few best practices white papers on topics around AI. And of course, we had previous white papers that are still getting talked about, things around vendor management guidelines and other documents. So I strongly encourage you to go to our website to see some of these white papers. And then in addition to this year's event, we put on a quarterly risk managers roundtable in the US. We were fortunate to sponsor last year the University of Edinburgh CRC Credit Scoring and Credit Control Conference. And what we sponsored specifically was the model risk management track, which has been growing at that conference. So that's something we're happy about. And just last week, it was in person, but there was a fundamentals of model risk held at the University of Edinburgh, where we also were the key outside sponsor. I have to say our relationship with the University of Edinburgh has been going quite well, and we enjoy the opportunity to work with the team there. And so for today's summit, in addition to thanking my board members on the previous slide, you'll see them today. They've put a lot of work into this. I'll say that the first one or two of these, I did a lot of pulling it together. But these days, it is such a team effort. It's a pleasure for me to get to join and see how it goes. In addition, Tyler Luster is our event coordinator, and I want to give him a big thanks for putting on today's event. If you have any challenges through the conference today, you can reach out to Tyler. He is working furiously in the background, anybody who has connection problems, things like that. And for any questions, comments to MRMIA, feel free to write to admin@mrmia.org. Now, for today's conference, we have it's a longer event than last year because we couldn't decide on anything to cut. We have a lot of talks. Of course, there are many aspects of machine learning and generative AI that we'll be covering. We'll talk about ESG and climate change from a model risk management perspective, BSA, AML, cyber risk, that kind of thing, scenario-based liquidity, geopolitical risk, forecast uncertainty and explainability, MRM for fintechs. These are just a shorthand list of some of the topics. And of course, you'll see those on the page right before you joined here. So I hope you enjoy today. I will ask our speakers today. I personally make a big deal about being clear between machine learning and generative AI, um, even if some would say it's all together under AI or ML or however you like to put the arrange the boxes there. I would say we need to be clear about what things are related to from a banking perspective, the more traditional regression type models. Machine learning models are generally in this industry taken as a nonlinear expansion of that using alternate optimization methods, gradient boosting, things like that. And then generative AI. And I will make these points again in my talk coming up in a few minutes, trying to distinguish from a model risk perspective the difference between machine learning and generative AI. So the language is still settling in. So I think it'll be important that people be clear about what they're describing. So that's my welcome. Thank you all for joining us today. And I will close out our introductory session and ask everyone to move to session one.